In this next article from the Times of Israel, Facebook reports progress in catching hate speech, including anti-Semitism. The social media antitrust giant says its increased proactive detection rate by 6 points, taking it to 95%, taking action on 22.5 million pieces of content deemed to be hateful. So if you're unaware, in the AI world, I am an AI engineer. So when you say that an algorithm has 89% of accuracy in the AI world, that's pathetic. That is absolutely nothing to be proud of. That means you could take a shotgun and shoot at the side of a building and you would still probably miss it. You might hit it once, but nope, you're probably not going to hit the side of a building with that one. Now, if you increase it to 95% accuracy, now when you shoot that building, you're probably going to hit it with 1 or 2 pellets, but you're not going to do very much damage to it. Facebook on Tuesday. Oh, sorry, that was the right. Yeah, Facebook on Tuesday reported progress in catching abusive content on the platform it relied on to automate systems during the pandemic. So this is the problem with like Jewish people. Like, okay, so the censorship that is coming from Facebook is not good for Jews or Israel. But they're going with it. These people are actually writing this story. They're saying, no, this is good because they're catching anti-Semitism. This is bad. They're engaging in anti-Semitism when they do this. They're saying the white supremacists control the world. In World War II, the white supremacists were the Jews, dude. They blamed the Jews for problems that had happened to them. And so when Facebook engages in this censoring of alternative points of view, this is classified as news. So when somebody posts something on social media and that's a claim, or that is a form of either opinion, or it's a claim of a fact, or it's a claim of an event, which is a fact. So you can't really like split hairs on who exactly is the news and who exactly is the commenters, because in the eyes of the law, it's like freedom of religion. The government doesn't have any sort of place in there to say any of you guys can't be the press or any of you people can't be the commenter. The government is only there to protect your right to engage in that speech. And this is why we give companies what are called Section 230 protections. If you're unfamiliar with those, Section 230 is part of the 42 U.S. Code, and it gives them protection from tort lawsuits for people who comment on their sites. And these tort lawsuits can be over libel, slander, or copyright, or other things that are similar to this. And we give them this pass because we don't want them to stifle our free speech. We won't want them to stifle innovation. So we made it so that they can not get sued for people who upload their content that was in violation of the law, because as long as they do their part to enforce the law, such as removing copyrighted materials from their website after they get a copyright strike. There's an entire process for getting a copyright strike. If you want to enforce your copyright laws, to get protection under this, you have to have a dedicated person that you send all your copyright claims to. They're very detailed in what you have to do in order to jump through these hoops to not be sued in court. So Facebook wants to act as a publisher here. They want to edit the content And newspapers, too, don't write the stories. They hire other people to write the stories, and then they edit the content. So the fact that Facebook is not the author of the content does not mean that they're not exempt from Section 230. No, they've been getting away with stuff that they shouldn't. Let me go farther in the article. Look up, if you're unfamiliar with Section 230, watch some videos on it. It's a very, very technical piece of law that is it's in the media a lot. I've covered it a lot on the show. I'm going to go on in the article. The leading social network released its latest enforcement report as it announced updated policies to bar specific kinds of implicit hate speech, such as a blackface or stereotypes about Jewish people controlling the world, which is functionally identical to stereotypes of white supremacists controlling the world, or the 1%. Facebook said it took action on 22.5 million pieces of content deemed to be hateful on the Facebook and Instagram platforms in the second quarter of this year, according to the internet giant's latest enforcement report. Despite the impact of COVID-19, improvements on our technology enabled to take action on more content in some areas, the report stated. Some of the improvement was credited to expanding automated detection in more languages, including Spanish and Burmese, better understanding of posts in English. Automated detection of hate speech in Instagram rose to 84% with the image-centric social network action of the total 3.3 million pieces of content in the second quarter. So it was, I think they have different numbers here. So I first heard it was 86%. Then they're saying here it was started at 84, and then they went, and the last report was 89, I think, and then now it's 95. I think that's the way the progression goes. If I have it wrong, comment on issue 73 for this show. An Instagram equity team and Facebook inclusive product council were created to help make sure that cultural fairness is built into products. According to the report, Facebook also said it launched diversity advisory council to provide input on topics and issues. Progress was also reported in automatic detection of terrorist content, Facebook taking action on 88.7 million pieces of content in the second quarter. Facebook remains under pressure about fight abuse and deceit content on its platform, boycott advertise, amid a boycott by advertisers, which actually arguably boosted their profits, while fending off accusations as unfairly stifles politically conservative voices, such as the Israelis. Because Democrats don't like Israelis. They don't. They think that Jews control the media because the Republicans support Israel. So they think they have to have some sort of Jewish cabal in order for them to actually be able to control the media, and that the Republicans are these like fascist people. And as it turns out, that's actually anti-Semitism right there. And the Republicans don't support that. So that's why they actually support the Israelis. So let's look at what they did, because they censored me. So gotta go to the support inbox, or I could just go actually to my page. There it is. So here was said it went against community standards. And this is what I said. They said it was hate speech. I said somebody was posting something about Europe and how like everybody supports European policies. So I'm being facetious in this comment. It's not actually serious. It's just a joke. It says, I would say the opposite. Europeans are retarded, ignorant jerks. They're all brainwashed socialist drones. Fuck Europe. It is a shithole. And so why did I say this, right? Because you're saying it's hate speech, right? Why did I say this? Why do I think Europeans are retarded, ignorant jerks? Because they banned hate speech. The reason why I posted that is because they banned hate speech. So I think that they're jerks because they banned hate speech, because I got canceled because I'm an engineer and I invested $100,000 into getting a engineering degree, computer engineering, and then during this period, and I learned the truth about the absolutely batshit and crazy insanity, corruption the Democrats have been engaging in, and the cultural Marxism from China. So once you've seen that these people will target you, that they'll say, oh, this person engages in hate speech, and then they'll fire you. And that, I believe, is a jerk thing to do. That is retarded. It is ignorant. It makes you a fucktard. If you cancel someone, that person will hate you. They should. Because if you are the type of person that cancels people, you suck. People hate you. You deserve to be canceled yourself. I think that you're a horrible person. We are going to cancel you too. And this is over hate speech. And so this is the problem with hate speech bans, is that people exploit them in order to target their political enemies. So they say that trying to enforce our immigration laws, that is hate speech. Anything that they don't like, that they disagree with, becomes hate speech because they're wah men. And they turn into jerks. Okay, so once you've been canceled, these people will not deal with you anymore. They think that you engage in hate speech. They will get you removed from social situations. And it makes you want to beat their ass. It does. It makes you want to fuck them up. And they're not all brainwashed socialist drones. Vast majority of them are brainwashed socialist drones. That is a factual error there. Let's explore this a little bit more in detail. Here, I've got an article for us as soon as I can find it. This next article from foreignpolicy.com, how Europe fell out of love with China. EU officials speak increasingly of Beijing as a rival, not a partner. Unlike Trump, they don't want a divorce. So this is why I said they're brainwashed socialist drones, because this is the problem fundamentally with why liberals are so apeshit. And when I say liberals, I don't mean that liberals are just people who want equality, and then conservatives are like this like group of evil people trying to prevent people from being equal. I mean it in the American context of liberal versus conservative, left versus right, where the right is the conservative power structure. And in America, we're trying to conserve classical liberalism. In America, social conservatism is a more evolved form of liberalism, where you are protecting the Constitution as opposed to trying to destroy it. So these leftist scum suckers, they want to be the exact opposite, because this is how they are going to get you to vote for them. They're called ivory tower liberals. They are the most detestable group of people in America. They will tell you anything that you want to hear to get you to like their post, watch their ads, buy the product, and vote for them. This is why they're scum suckers. They just want to do the opposite of Donald Trump because they hate the guy, because they're hateful people. Because let's be honest, people who aren't hateful people don't engage in hateful behavior in a regular pattern. Only hate mongers do that. That would be the people with Trump derangement syndrome. So they hate everything Donald Trump does. So they're trying to do the exact opposite. And so what they do is they're trying to go closer to China as opposed to trying to take out TikTok. We covered on the show last time. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just trying to prove the point that I was factually incorrect there. Not all of them don't support China, but that does not mean necessarily you have not been brainwashed by China. So was my statement factual? Fact. Retarded liberals in Europe will be jerks about hate speech. They'll cancel you. So that's a fact. They're brainwashed socialist drone. That's a fact. We can show, yes, China has been indeed brainwashing them. And Europe is indeed actually a shithole of liberalism. Europe is a place where they'll throw you in jail for engaging in free speech, where they want to not enforce their immigration policies so that they can flood in Muslims, because in these Muslim countries in Africa and like Nigeria, which is a wonderful place, and I do love Nigerians, but the birth rate's like 5 to 6 people per woman. That's insane. Our birth rate is like 1.6 people per woman. Dude, so when they got 5 people for women, every single year, like we take like on like about 1 million immigrants from the developing world, and then they produce 80 million more immigrants. And then they're flipping out about climate change. Like, climate change, all these people are going to be like displaced by climate change. And then you run the numbers on it, and then it turns out it's going to displace like 300,000 people per year. And this is less than the number of people who move out of California per year. And in these places, they currently have vastly more people moving out of them currently right now, because the people are baby factories over there. They're all trying to compete with who can have the bigger family, because it's like a showing of power. And then what they do is they have an oversupply of these large families, and then it's a baby factory, and then they spill over into Europe. And then these people don't want to prevent them from doing it. They have human smuggling operations, smuggling people into Europe, killing them in lorries. Got like 38, 60 Asians dead up in a lorry all the time in the news over there in Europe. And they don't want to do anything about it because it's hate speech. You can't criticize him. You can't say anything about the Prophet Muhammad being a pedophile. You can't say that because facts are racist now. And when facts become racist, you go down the slippery slope into Naziville very quickly. Because yes, Nazis were in fact indeed anti-racist people, contrary to popular belief. It was in fact the Americans, the Jews, the British, and the rest of the Allies who were the white supremacists back then. It is actually true. You can definitely go through the history books and verify, okay, America, white supremacist at the time. They had Democrat KKK in control. You have Britain, very racist, very white supremacist. Jews, Karl Marx, rabid white supremacist, advocated for genocide, right? So obviously, the Europeans are definitely headed down this slippery slope into National Socialism. They are indeed engaging in Nazi behavior, and that's detestable. And I thank all of the patriots in Europe who are putting a stop to this. These people are going apeshit crazy with this far right talk. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so you can say what you want about whether or not you thought my news was hateful, but the fact is that I am indeed actually a journalist. I am an intellectual dark web journalist. I have my credentials. You are watching my show right now. That means I am actually a news journalist. So when you want to censor me, you might not like my opinion. You might not like the news that I presented to you. But the fact is that it is news. And Facebook is trying to they're trying to control the platform because they want you to be on Facebook. They're trying to control the platform by preventing other people from engaging in free speech, because they know if you engaged in the free speech that I am engaging, you would then leave Facebook's platform and go to my social network platform, because you can engage in free speech there. And my viral video app is way better than their viral video app due to my IMU language technology and the AI flashcards. So this is antitrust. This is the spitting definition of antitrust. They didn't like what I said. They said it was hate speech. And hate speech is banned where? In Europe? And so they want this post to go over in Europe. So they're enforcing European laws on me here in America, trying to prevent me from speaking. And then they want to get protections from the slander, libel, and tort that the people on Facebook engage in. But they have a problem with that. And I have records that people on Facebook have been engaging in slander and tort, slander and libel against me for a long time. I'm building up evidence. I am suing Facebook. I am a plaintiff in this Facebook lawsuit. I have not been declared, but I'm declaring myself as a plaintiff. I am officially a competing fact-checking organization called WikiSpy. I am a competing news organization with Facebook, and I have been censored for criticizing white Europeans for hate speech. You just can't make this shit up, man. So, I'm not sure exactly why I can't criticize the Europeans. Are they too? They're too weak. They're like are Europeans inferior because they're unable to take free speech? They can't. Europeans cannot take criticism without canceling you and shutting you down because they're pathetic cowards. They can't even take the smallest amount of criticism because they're socialist and they've been brainwashed by China. So, I mean, Facebook can play this game, but if you want to censor me and you want to oppress me, you're going to owe me millions of dollars. And I'm not going to back down. I'm very good with law. I could win. I could be my own attorney and win. But I know an attorney's going to do a lot better a job. If you are an attorney, you should comment on issue ticket 73 on the Real Simple News GitHub repository, realsimplenews.net/issue 76. No, it's 76. 76. Yeah, not 73. That was the last show. So why should this not be up here? I mean, you don't like what I said, but I was joking. I mean, the only reason why I said this is because I knew that they would be shocked by it. I said it because it wasn't true. I was being facetious. I was being sarcastic. It's absolute. They're not all brainwashed socialist drones. They're not all jerks. It's just the liberals who are the brainwashed socialist jerks, and the majority of them are liberals. They're spineless cowards who can't take. They're too weak in order to take any sort of criticism. So they have to cancel you. And then once they cancel you, you're not allowed to say anything criticizing them. You're not allowed to hate them. You're not allowed to do anything because they are in control. That's called authoritarianism. This is basically a slippery slope into Nazi land here, with the slippery slope provided to you by Mark Zuckerberg, the antitrust king who censors conservative journalists with AI that does not have any sort of rights. An AI algorithm does not have rights. The only reason why Facebook is allowed to even get away with any of this stuff is because they are an information service. Info categorization service. Sorry. What this means is their job is to categorize information. But there's a problem here with this, is that you can't use your categorization in order to suppress competing businesses, because that's called a monopoly. I don't remember the stats, but it was something like 85% of the social media market is controlled by Mr. Antitrust King, Mark Zuckerberg. Or shall we say Mark Antitrust Zuckerberg? I'm pretty sure if they would have actually responded to this, had the Facebook antitrust AI not unlawfully censored me to censor a conservative news source that was competing with them, offering alternative facts to their fact-checking system that's run by an AI bot that is pathetically inaccurate. Pathetic. It's pathetic. Okay, so let's explain why this is so pathetic in the AI world. So when they said that they were 84%, wherever they started. So what they said there was, even without a neural net, all we did was search for some keywords, and then we found them, and that was 86% accuracy. And then their neural network was 0% accurate. I'm not stupid. I make these algorithms too. I can fudge the numbers myself, but I wouldn't, because I like to know the truth. And I don't hate people. Unlike these bigoted leftists. Leftists are the biggest bigots. Look, why are they doing this? They're doing it because they're intolerant of my political opinion, because of my skin color, and because of my gender. Because they're leftist liberal scum suckers. They're the bottom feeders. They're the lowest of the low. They are the people who gentrify your neighborhood, and then they do an absolute shit job at work because they just got the job because they did well in school and they never really wanted to be there. I am a badass engineer who's done badass things, such as inventing one of the world's most, if not world's most, efficient water heater that can sequester CO2, world's fastest number printing algorithm. Hold on. Sorry. Spaced out what I was talking about. So, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff if I was like a bigot, right? Like, why am I making these technologies? You don't know? You don't know who the fuck I am? I'm doing it because I used to suffer from complex post-traumatic stress syndrome, from legal abuse syndrome when I was canceled, and when my son was kidnapped by a radical feminist who held my son in a hoarder house and neglected and abused him, traumatized me, messed my life up. You can read it in my book, the A Startup Cookbook. It's a very traumatic story. The A Startup Cookbook is a book that I'm working on about running startups using my IMU technology, IMU language technology, and I'm doing it to help disabled people. I'm doing this show to drum up support for my open source projects so that I can help people with this artificial memory augmentation technology for people who have memory impairment problems like me. I have memory problems because I have to smoke pot because of the CPSD. So I'm a disabled person. These are where my views come from. My views come from a person who was canceled because he was a white male, was discriminated against because of disabilities. And then I went on to do exceptional, brilliant things that they cannot deny. And these are the people that want to cancel you, and they're in bed with the Europeans, the jerk, retarded, ignorant Europeans. And I'm not saying that to the conservative people. I'm saying it to the whack European liberals. Like, here, let's pull out the picture of the whack European liberals so you can see the craziness of these whack posers in Europe. Because you have to see how much of a poser these people are with your own two eyes in order to know how whack they are. Here is the picture of the whack posers here in Vogue magazine, the Marxist magazine that encourages the taking away of people's property rights because they say property is racist. And so here are the posers in Europe. As you can see, they are posing for a photo op. They're literally posing for a photo op. They're out here posing for Vogue. They got all dressed up. They want to go and protest police brutality in the United States. Why? They don't live here. They don't pay taxes here. You don't know anybody who lives in my city. You don't have any business here. What the hell are you out protesting for laws in Democrat-controlled cities in a country that is 10,000 miles away from you? Why? Because they hate Donald Trump. They hate Republicans. They think they're the white supremacists that control the world. They think they're with the Israelis who are brutalizing, quote unquote, brutalizing the Palestinians. They're with the people that they hate. So they're out here to get the photo op so that they can put it on Facebook so they could rise up in the social media scene, because it's an equality movement, because they want more money for themselves. This is why they're scum suckers. They're posers. That's what they call them. They're fake. And this is my biggest problem with Europeans, is that they try to copy us and they end up turning out to be whack little haters. So they take our culture, they appropriate it, and then they go do their photo ops, drum up their support. They hate on every conservative person, push them out. That's why they're doing the photo op, because when they do these photo ops, they get to control the workplace. They get to control what speech you say, who is deplatformed, and then then it allows them to take control. And this is why, fundamentally, European liberals are whack as fuck. I think they're stupid. They're retarded. They're jerks. They're ignorant. They're stupid. You should probably legalize free speech, because this is corporate. If you want fascism to not come to your community, you need to be tolerant. You need to not be a bigot yourself. If you are a bigot, you person on the other side of the camera, if you are a bigot to other people, you're a fucking hypocrite if you are trying to kick out bigots. Got to cover the big stories. I am taking too long on these stories. There's the queue.